I still remember the exact moment my world shattered. It was supposed to be a quiet family visit, 4 precious days of leave after months overseas. I had driven straight from the base to my childhood home, heart full of hope for warm hugs, mom's homemade lasagna, and finally catching up with my little sister, Emily. She was always the golden child, the one who stayed close to home, built a cute little life, posted perfect family pictures. I was the big sister who chose the hard path, the one who worked in military intelligence, the one who carried secrets so heavy they had their own weight. That first evening, everything felt normal. Too normal. Emily kept asking questions about my job. Come on, sis, you can tell me something. Just one story. I won't tell anyone. I laughed it off, the way I always did. You know I can't, Em. It's classified. But something in her eyes that night, it wasn't just curiosity, it was hunger. The next morning, I woke up early. Jet lag, maybe, or that quiet instinct that had kept me alive in my line of work. I went to check my secure laptop, the one I was never supposed to bring home, but sometimes did on short leave because I couldn't risk leaving certain files behind. The moment I opened it, my stomach dropped. The files were open, not just one, multiple highly classified documents, operational details, names, locations, intelligence that, if it got out, could put lives at risk, including people I had sworn to protect. My hands started shaking. I checked the access logs. Emily. She had used my password, the one she must have watched me type months ago during a previous visit. She had copied several files onto a USB drive, and from the timestamps, she had been in them for over an hour. My own sister, the girl I had protected my whole life, the one I sent money to when she was struggling, the one I trusted more than almost anyone. I sat there in the dim morning light, heart pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. Betrayal doesn't even begin to describe what I felt. It was like someone had ripped out everything I believed in. But what I didn't know in that moment was that everything was about to change. I didn't scream. I didn't confront her right away. I sat there, frozen, replaying every conversation we'd ever had. All the times she joked about my boring government job. All the times she said she was proud of me, but her eyes looked jealous. Why would she do this? Money? Curiosity? Some stupid idea of selling information online for attention? Or worse, had someone approached her? The pain hit me in waves. First came the shock, cold and sharp. Then the heartbreak, deep, aching heartbreak. This wasn't some stranger hacking my system. This was blood. This was the person I grew up sharing a room with, whispering secrets to under blanket forts. I felt so stupid, so exposed. All those years of training, all those security briefings about insider threats, and the biggest threat was sleeping down the hall. When Emily finally came downstairs, humming like nothing had happened, I looked at her and saw a stranger. She smiled that same sweet smile and asked if I wanted coffee. I couldn't even speak at first. My voice came out broken. Why, Emily? Why did you go into my files? For a second, her face went pale. Then she tried to laugh it off. Oh, come on, it was just a peek. I wasn't going to do anything with them. You're always so secretive. I just wanted to feel like I was part of your world for once. Part of my world? Those words shattered me even more, because my world wasn't glamorous. It was late nights, impossible decisions, carrying the weight of lives that depended on me keeping silent. And she had treated it like a game, like my duty, my sacrifices, my clearance were just another thing she could take because she was family. I told her to stay away from my things. I changed every password I could on the spot, but the damage was already done. The files had been copied. I didn't know if she had sent them anywhere yet. That day, the house felt suffocating. Mom kept asking why we were so quiet. Dad tried to crack jokes at dinner. Emily avoided my eyes. And I sat there smiling through the pain, pretending everything was fine, while my mind raced with worst-case scenarios. What if those files reached the wrong hands? What if someone used them to hurt innocent people? What if my career, everything I had built through blood, sweat, and sleepless nights, ended because of my own sister's selfishness? The betrayal cut so deep I could barely breathe. I felt broken, completely broken. The kind of broken where you question every memory, every bond you thought was real. But somewhere in that darkness, a quiet strength started rising. I wasn't just a betrayed sister anymore. I was a trained intelligence officer, and I had a duty to my country, to the people whose lives were in those files, and yes, even to myself. I made a quiet call that night, one I never wanted to make. Not to my commander, not yet, just to the right person who could quietly check if anything had been transmitted. The answer came back fast. Access had been logged. Attempts to open sensitive networks from an unauthorized location had triggered silent alerts. The system had already flagged it. Everything was about to unravel. 2 days later, everything changed. I was in the living room when I heard the vehicles. Heavy, fast. No sirens, just the low rumble of serious engines. Before I could even stand up, the front door practically exploded open. A military tactical response team moved in like shadows. Black tactical gear, precise movements, faces covered. They secured the house in seconds. Mom screamed. Dad froze with his coffee mug halfway to his lips. Emily's face went completely white. They didn't touch me. They knew exactly who I was. But they moved straight to Emily. "Ma'am, you are being detained for unauthorized access and attempted removal of classified national security information." She started crying immediately. "It was just a mistake. I'm her sister. I didn't mean anything bad." I stood there, watching. My heart was still aching, but my hands had stopped shaking. They found the USB drive in her room. They recovered the files. And because I had reported it immediately, because the system's automatic safeguards had kicked in, the damage was contained before it could spread. Emily wasn't just embarrassed, she was facing very real consequences. Federal agents arrived shortly after. Questions, statements, the full weight of what she had done started crashing down on her. In that moment, I didn't feel joy. I didn't feel triumph. I felt exhausted, deeply sad, because family is supposed to protect you, not become the threat that destroys everything you've worked for. Later, when the team leader spoke to me privately, he said something I'll never forget. "You did the right thing, even when it hurt. That's what real strength looks like." Emily's world fell apart in the weeks that followed. No dramatic arrest on camera, but the quiet, heavy machinery of accountability moved forward. She lost friends who learned what happened. She faced legal proceedings that would follow her for years. The perfect little life she had built on the illusion of being the good daughter cracked wide open. And me? I went back to work. My clearance remained intact because I had acted immediately and responsibly. The files were secured. Lives that could have been endangered were protected. But more than that, I found peace. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I chose truth over silence. I chose duty over blind loyalty. I chose to protect what mattered, even when it broke my heart. If there's one thing I want you to take from my story, it's this. Betrayal by someone you love cuts deeper than anything else in this world. It can leave you feeling shattered and alone, but you always have a choice in how you respond. You can let the pain destroy you, or you can stand up, even when your voice shakes, and do what's right. Family doesn't give anyone the right to destroy your life, your career, or the safety of others. Sometimes the hardest love is the love that holds people accountable. I still love my sister, but I love myself enough and I love my duty enough to never let anyone, not even her, cross that line again. And because I made that choice, everything truly did change. For the better.